Hello, everyone. Welcome to Vinyasa Flow class. My name's Dee. Let's all take a comfortable seat. If you're not seated already, allowing for a little bit of elevation at the hips, and then legs in whatever comfortable position works for your body. As you find your comfortable seat from the waist down, go ahead and lengthen the spine and just set it in a straight manner, letting your arms be wherever they're comfortable. Maybe they're holding you up by your side, maybe they're in your lap. It's nice to have the support that you need no matter where you choose to place your limbs. And we'll close down our eyes and become one with our breath here for a moment. Letting our opening Shavasana bring us inside of ourselves, letting the rest of the goings on of the world just sort of fall away. As a yoga practitioner, my goal for you, as I also instruct, is for you to get trapped in the beautifully harmonious flow of your poses and your breath. When we attend yoga classes, we expect to find a quiet place that'll give us some peace of mind. Yoga is truly effective when we learn to look within ourselves as we're doing right now. And this is the only possible way we can really discover and learn more about our true persona. So as you practice today, let it be your intention to become more aware of your body, and your mind, shifting the focus onto your breath, letting yourself sink down into your own personal space. And while we go from pose to pose, or flow rather from pose to pose, I'll be giving you cues that you can either take in and absorb and use or set aside if they're not going to work for you today or any day. Let the next breath that rolls in be a little deeper. And let's begin our Ujjayi breath as our pranayama, our breath practice this morning. And to do that, remember, we'll constrict the throat at the voice box, and we'll inhale and exhale through our nose, creating this humming or vibration sound in between our ears. Maybe only we hear it. Maybe there's a slight audible noise. When you're ready, go ahead and begin. Take a few breaths to see how this pattern is working for you. To see if the quality of your breath is changing in a way that helps you focus more and that helps you attune more to the inside fauna of your body and mind, flora and fauna, I should say. Take about 3 more Ujjayi breaths and then set it aside for now, but we'll come back to this breathing as we move through our flows today. Breathing in your own rhythm now, relinquishing the control. Noticing, maybe placing a hand on the heart and on the belly to become more attuned with how it feels to just breathe and be. Such a simple thing, but so evasive, right? Let's relax our arms down by our sides and flutter open our eyes. Let's let some sun breaths begin to wake us up as we move our arms and stretch our fingers out to the side and up overhead as we breathe in. And as we exhale, we're going to reverse that movement with the palms facing down, slowly releasing the hands as we do the breath. We'll continue moving and breathing. The next time your arms are down by your sides, plant that left hand, the palm or the fingertips, on the floor next to you. And we'll inhale the opposite arm straight up as far as you can bring it. Then begin to tip over, keeping that upper shoulder lifted and keeping that arm in alignment with the side of your head. So it's just to the side. You can bend your elbow here, increasing sort of the weight closer to the body, maybe changing the way this stretch feels slightly on the right side. Let your next inhale lift you back up, and then we'll exhale that arm slowly down. Let's plant that hand on the right, and we'll inhale to lift the left arm. Exhale, releases you sideways. Still lifted, but also curved or going in a diagonal. Arm lifted as high as you can, and then let that arm be heavy. Let the elbow stay lifted. The hand releases. We'll inhale to come straight back up, and we'll exhale to slowly release that arm down by our side. Let's move that left hand now to the right knee, and we'll turn our chest to the right as we roll that right shoulder forward, up, back, and down, sitting up nice and tall as we inhale. Exhale, let's twist back behind us, perhaps looking back, perhaps moving our chin, and breathing, not holding the breath, maybe coming into Ujjayi here. And then exhaling to release and to slowly bring yourself back around to the front. There's time to move more quickly. So let's slowly move to the opposite direction. We'll get to that later, right? The faster flows. We'll roll the back shoulder up, back, and down. Sitting up nice and tall on the inhale. Let the exhale release you back towards the shoulder behind you. The hands supporting the body, keeping yourself lifted, looking. And as you exhale, bring everything slowly back to center. And let's stretch our legs out long, right in front of us in the staff pose, pressing through both heels, sitting up nice and tall. Let's inhale our arms slowly up as we take this deep breath in. As we exhale, we'll slowly release into a forward fold with a flat back first. And then we'll curve the spine. Take a couple more breaths here. Let your next inhale lift your chin, lift your head, lift your body, maybe even lifting your arms straight back up to the ceiling, and then exhaling the arms down by your side. With the legs in whatever comfortable position you'd like to move them into, or you can keep them where they are, let's head towards morning greeting together. Again, morning greeting, if you haven't visited my classes before, it's a short vinyasa flow that you can do seated, kneeling, standing, or in a chair. So we'll inhale our arms up. It starts with a sun breath. This time, as we bring our hands together and begin to exhale, we'll release the hands down the center of the body, right to the heart. As we inhale, we pause movement. As we exhale, our gaze stays forward and we reach our hands forward, fingertips pointing towards me, arms extended at the shoulder height. On the next inhale, open your hands away from each other. Draw the backs of the hands back behind your shoulders. And then lift your chin, arch your back, open the chest. Exhale, tip that pelvis the opposite direction as you sort of bury your chin towards your chest and bring your hands together, still at shoulder height, rounding into cow. Inhale to come back to the heart, hands press gently together. Exhale brings your arms down once again by your side so we can start over again. At your own pace, let's do this 3 more times. This is probably the last class. I've done this maybe 5 weeks in a row now that I'll do this, and I'll just sprinkle it in just to remind you of it every now and then going forward. Let's inhale our arms up overhead. Exhale, release to the heart. Inhale. Exhale, move hands forward. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, hands to heart. Gaze forward. Exhale, release your arms. Keep going. If you've memorized this flow, even if you don't get it right, that's the thing. There is no right way to do this, really. You can continue at your own pace, moving with your breath, enjoying each inhale of movement, each exhale of movement. Each movement into neutrality with the spine, maybe the arms and the legs. Maybe changing positions of the legs, speaking of them, as they get tired in different positions for too long. We'll all end back up with our arms down by our side. Just taking breaths, maybe keeping the ujjayi going. And from here, let's move up to table. By now, I'm sure you know how to position yourself. You can watch an earlier video chronologically if you're able, depending on what format you're getting my yoga classes through. So once you're in a comfortable all fours position, begin your cat-cows from this position. Begin swaying your spine, lifting and lowering your navel, tucking and arching back your tailbone, lifting slightly, and then tucking your chin, getting the spine moving in all the ways it can move here this morning. As you flow through the neutral point of your spine and hips, pelvis together, go ahead and remain there in your tabletop position. Let's bring our right hand right underneath the center of our body, and we'll lean into that so we can lift the opposite hand out and up towards the ceiling. We'll keep that left hand lifted. We'll keep our body lifted as we exhale, lower that left hand and arm. And we're going to reach right across our chest and sort of point our fingers over to the right. Let your breath bring your arm up towards the ceiling as you inhale and off to the right side as you exhale. Chest stays lifted, just like hips. Now on the next round, let's lower our shoulder to the mat, lowering our head as well. I'm grabbing my blocks because I do like that accommodation of being a little more lifted away from the floor. this a little more comfortable for my body. Do what's comfortable for your body. Keep your right hand right where it is, or you can inhale, lift that right arm out to the side, flip the palm, and bring the back of the hand to the back of the hips. Now, see if those fingers, those right fingertips, can sort of crawl over to the left side, right along the waist, or maybe your um, pant line. Maybe you're binding, holding on with your fingers to a thigh. Maybe your elbow doesn't allow you coming closer to your body. So you stay wherever you're comfortable. One more breath here. And then on the next exhale, release that right hand, bring it back around and down. Press through the hand to lift yourself back up. Twist the left to the left, lifting that arm up towards the sky and stars, and then exhale, coming back down into your table. Let's switch sides. This time, left hand comes to the center. We'll inhale, lifting the right arm up, turning the chest to the right. Exhale, turn the chest to the left. Thread that right arm through behind the left. Elbow or upper arm or lower arm, wherever you happen to be. We're all different in our ability to move. So once you've lifted your hand 4 times, gently make your way towards the floor. Once more. You can keep the left hand here in front of the body, or we can bring it around to the back of the body. Maybe work that elbow towards the center line. Reach the fingers. Breathe in this resting state where you're stretching, not just resting. Let your next exhale lift that left hand and arm, just sort of wrap it back around to the front. And then we'll inhale to press up away from the floor. We lift that right hand, twisting right one more time, and then we exhale, bringing that hand down. From here, let's move into downward facing dog. So we'll curl under our toes, press on the feet and hands, lift the hips and knees up and back. And let's stretch here, taking a moment to walk the dog, let the backs of the legs stretch. Nice. Now press into your hands, press into the right foot, and on the next inhale, lift the left foot up and back. Maybe your toes stay on the floor, maybe your heel reaches to the stars. As you exhale, bend the knee, drawing it forward towards the chest, and step that left foot forward. We'll come into a low lunge. So go ahead, float that right foot, knee down, flatten the right foot, and sink into your pose here. Sinking the hips towards the floor. Getting a nice stretch in the back of the forward leg and in the front of the thigh that's stretched out behind you, that right leg. Let's curl under the right toes. Press on that foot to lift the knee up off the floor, maybe even walking that foot a little toward us so that we can stretch that left foot back, coming back into downward facing dog. We'll move to the right side with our 3-legged dog and then low lunge. So as you're ready, pressing into the left foot, both hands, inhale, Lift the right heel and foot up and back, bend the knee, draw it towards your chest. See if you can curl and lift your torso to step that right foot through, walking it or inching it forward, maybe using your hand, and then releasing that back leg down, flattening the foot, sinking the hips towards the floor, stretching both legs in different ways. Take one more breath here. Curl under the left toes. Lift that left side of your body to step the right foot back. And we'll come into prone position on our stomachs. So just let your body release. Stack the palms and rest your forehead right on that top palm. Plenty of space for your nose to breathe and draw in air. Let's move from here now into Sphinx pose by inhaling, lifting our head, our neck, our shoulders, inching or walking the elbows towards the shoulders, and then bringing them a little forward. Now pressing into the floor through the hands, the fingertips, the wrists, the forearms, letting the bottom half of the body be very heavy here. See if you can stretch your neck and your head, lengthening the spine, feeling that lengthening move through your torso, kind of out of your hips. And come into your Ujjayi breath here. Take 3 more breaths. Excellent. As you exhale, release back down to the floor, coming into your crocodile shape, just resting here. Legs are extended back behind you, heels are facing up, if that makes sense. We're going to move from prone to table up to standing, either slowly or quickly, and either using a down dog and a forward fold or not. So if you're used to a particular way of getting yourself up to standing, please go ahead and use that method, taking a few breaths to do so, and we'll all go ahead and meet in mountain pose at the top of the mat. Once you find yourself in mountain pose at the top of your mat, press into the floor with the soles of both feet evenly. Feel that connection to the ground, that activity muscularly in the legs, right? Let your next inhale lift your arms up overhead. Exhale, nose dive, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, bring your hands to your legs, flat back. Exhale, release again, deeply bend the knees, plant the palms, and step the left foot back, leaving the right foot forward. You can drop the back knee or press up away from the floor, keeping that back knee lifted. You can keep your torso low. You can lift your torso up higher. You can use blocks to help extend the length of your arms and support your body better. You don't have to. If you'd like, you can inhale your arms and lift them up any amount, maybe to your waist, maybe to your heart, maybe in a wide V, maybe right by your ears. Exhale, release the hands, plant them, step that right foot back, lower your hips, and maybe float down your knees. Plank or half plank. Take a breath here. Now, inhale, press on the toes. Exhale, flatten the feet, slow the descent, lower the body down. Inhale, come into half cobra or full cobra. Exhale, release. Once again, head, neck, and chest lowers. Curl under the toes. Inhale to lift and press up and back into downward facing dog. We can do three-legged dog to step that left foot forward, or we can just step the left foot forward without doing three-legged dog. Let's come into either a low or high kneel here. Keeping your chest low by your thigh or inhaling to lift it up. Once again, to lift the arms out, however you're comfortable. Let an exhale lower the arms. Will not come down to the floor again. The idea is to go forward into a forward fold. So we kind of lean and press, bend into that forward knee, step the back foot up. Let the upper body come all the way down over the legs. Inhale to lift the body halfway up. Exhale, releasing again into the forward fold. Next inhale lifts us all the way to standing. Arms come up overhead. Exhale releases the hands to the heart. Look down, see where you are, see if you need to move to get back to the top of your mat. On the next inhale, let's lift our arms up overhead. Exhale, nose dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, deeply bend the knees, plant the hands, and step the right foot back this time. Inhale to lift the chest up away from the floor, from the thigh, if you'd like. Inhale, lifting the arms, if you'd like. Exhaling to release the hands down. We'll lower the upper body again to plant the palms. We step the left foot back, coming into plank or half plank. Let the next inhale lift us up. Exhale lowers us, flattens the feet. Inhale lifts up into cobra. Exhale releases. Inhale to downward facing dog. Stretch. Inhale to either lift the right foot and then step it forward, or just step it forward. Another inhale lifts you up if you prefer coming up away from the forward thigh. Next inhale can lift the arms if you'd like. Right, we'll get this left leg to come forward by leaning our weight forward, coming into a forward fold. You could step that forward foot back if that was easier for you. Just an example of a modification. Inhale to bring your arms out and up. Exhale, hands come to heart. We'll speed up our sun salutation and let's use Ujjayi breath throughout. So I'm going to slow down my cues to kind of give you hints, but less words. And you can engage your throat and let yourself move with your breath. Inhale, lifts the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, release again. Inhale, step that left foot back. Exhale, and then inhale to lift up away from the floor. Inhale the arms up. 3 Ujjayi breaths here. Exhale the arms with the down to the floor. Step that right foot back, coming into half plank or plank. Inhale, exhale to the floor. Inhale, half or full cobra. Exhale, release to the floor. Inhale, lift up and back into down dog. Take a breath or two. And then the next inhale, step that left foot forward. Next inhale lifts you up away, if you prefer. Next inhale lifts the arms. Exhale, step forward, come into a forward fold. Inhale, lift the arms, come to standing. Exhale, release the hands by your side or at your heart. Inhale, lifts the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, step the right foot back. Come into low lunge or high lunge. Inhale, lifts the arms. Exhale, lowers the body, plants the hands, stepping the left foot back, letting the knees float down into half plank or keeping them lifted in plank. Inhale, exhale to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, crocodile. Inhale, down dog. This time we step the right foot forward at the end. Inhale into that high or low lunge. Lifting the arms any amount on the next inhale. Exhale into a forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, release again. Inhale, up to standing. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Back at the top of the mat. Arms down at your side or at your waist. Standing in mountain. Step your left foot back. Turn the toes as you step back so that they are at a 90-degree angle from the front forward facing toes. Front toes facing the short edge, back toes facing the long edge. Let's put a bend through that knee and direct that knee out, pressing into the floor with both legs. This is called the warrior flow for me. That's what I call it. It is includes everything but warrior. Actually, it's the warrior 2 flow. My bad. So let's inhale the arms up. And just know that maybe your arms can come all the way up to shoulder height. Maybe here as far as you can lift your arms. Stay here. You want your body to be tightly supporting you in the core areas of the body that wrap around the abdomen and the back. From here, exhale the back arm down. Inhale, we'll come into reverse warrior. Ujjayi breathing here. We'll exhale. Keep that Ujjayi breath going into extended side angle. We'll come into triangle, straightening the knee, straightening the bottom elbow and lifting the arm and hand on top towards the stars. Reverse triangle, pressing down through both feet on the inhale, windmilling both arms, pressing into the floor with straight legs as much as possible. Exhale that arm down. Bring your shoulders back on top of your hips. Let's press into the heel of the forward foot, lifting the toes, turning them to the front. Now we're in a nice wide angle. And let's start to bend each knee here. Just letting the straight leg lower with the hip, top of the straight leg lowering with the hips. So you get a nice stretch. Maybe you're barely moving side to side. Maybe you're moving a lot side to side. Let's walk our feet together or heel toe the feet together. And we'll come back to the top of the mat. Back in mountain pose, hands on hips, feet solidly planted. Press into the left foot to step the right foot back. Turn the toes so that you can come into your warrior two legs. Let the knee that's bent in front of you fan out. And as you're ready and you're feeling stable, lift your arms. If you're not quite stable, hold on to something. Keep your hands and arms low. You could stay here and breathe and not move your arms at all. On the next exhale, if the arms lifted, lower that back hand. Inhale to lift the front hand and palm. Reach for the ceiling. And then exhale, lowering down. Ujjayi breaths here as you reach forward again into extended side angle. That right arm kind of lifted or lowered wherever your range of motion allows you to place it. From here, we'll come into triangle. So we don't move the torso, we straighten the front leg, release that left hand, the fingers to the floor, and lift that right arm, stacking our limbs. Inhale to press down through the feet, windmill the arms, coming into reverse triangle. Exhale to release that hand down by your side, pressing into the heel. Move the toes forward and again. Stretch the inner thigh and strengthen each leg as you bend, alternate knees. Maybe, by the way, you're using blocks. You're kind of keeping your upper body more supported, which if you have back problems could help the back feel way more supported and comfortable. And then bring your hips back to the center. Press down through both feet if you've lowered your upper body towards the floor. And then walk the feet together. Shake out the legs. And let's move into a balance pose. Standing in the middle of the mat, feet hip distance apart. Press into your left side and pop the right knee, lifting the right heel up. Let's toe tap. I really like including toe tapping in my classes, but if you, knowing your body, can go right to lifting your knee, you can practice challenging your balance in this pose. You can include the hands. We're headed for stork here. So let's point the feet by moving the toes towards the floor. Let's lift the hands and arms, wrists higher than shoulders, elbows lower than shoulders. Bring your thumbs and your forefingers together at the tips, and then point the hands down. Perhaps kick, or maybe release the hands and use this as a hand to big toe. Whoops. Pose. However it is that you might want to challenge yourself. Maybe this is how you challenge yourself today. And as you're ready, slowly release your pose. Draw both feet under you and shake them out. Good. Come back into your mountain pose. And this time we'll press into the right leg and bend the left knee. We'll toe tap. Maybe keep the legs still in a position. Maybe come into stork. Maybe kicking the Karate Kid kick. Maybe using this as a hand to big toe, pressing through the heel, trying to keep the back straight, shaking out the legs when you're done. And let's go into some arm swings. Lifting that back heel is important. I can't stress that enough, so I always do stress it. Just giving your spine a little more flexibility so that the weight of the hands can help you twisting back and forth, release the tension that's built up in the spine through those one-legged balance standing poses, right? All right, let's move down to the mat through a squat. So bring your feet as wide apart as you need. Maybe enlist the help of blocks. Maybe lower your upper body first and then begin to bend your knees and lower your hips. Or maybe you're able to slowly sink, keeping your spine straight. And then keep in mind, heels can be lifted here or lowered, depending on what's comfortable for your body. We'll take both elbows and just open the hips a little bit, pressing the hands together. If this isn't doable, you're probably already seated on the floor and you're doing your yoga with your legs in a different position, which is totally fine. Take one more breath, just sort of letting the transition back down to the floor and all that energy dissipate a little. We're headed into staff pose with our legs straight out in front of us. We're going to come into another forward fold here. So let's inhale, both arms up over the head. Exhale, we'll release head, neck, and chest forward, hands lower before the chest so that they can hold us up with our back flat. So let's find that extension away from our hips by pressing the backs of the feet and the legs against the floor to use the opposing energy, right, force, to come up away from the hips. Holding on to the legs or to the floor. Now exhale, round your spine, begin to drop or lower your head, tucking your chin towards your chest. Take a few ujjayi breaths here, though you'll feel very constricted. Let the stretch run from your tailbone to your brain, the back of your head. And then on the next inhale, bring it all up slowly and with intention, keeping the back as flat as you can. From here, let's move into wide angle or straddle pose on the floor. We'll do a forward fold right in between the legs here, just for the difference in sensations. So inhale the arms up overhead, just like before. Exhale, draw the body down and forward, letting your hands release first. Let's go ahead and lower yourself all the way down as far as you're able, curving the spine, releasing the head and neck. Taking some breaths here, be they ujjayi or not. And then inhaling to lift the chin, the torso, shoulders lift, head lifts. Let's turn towards one leg with our chest, sort of guiding our chest and our abdomen to one side. Let's inhale our arms up over our head, sun breath. Exhale, we'll release over this one leg. If it's better for you to bring the opposite foot in, bending the knee, that's fine. You can come into a half straddle. Feel the release of the muscles still in your hamstrings. Even as we breathe here, we're feeling that release more and more each second that goes by. Not more and more intensity, excuse me, but more and more we're feeling that release. And it's gentle intensity that we're striving for. Let your next inhale lift yourself up away from that leg. Arms can come up overhead or not. Exhale them down, and we'll turn our torso to the opposite side. Let the inhale lift the arms up. Exhale will release forward towards the opposite leg. Using your hands to support you in whatever way possible. Some people like to have the blocks alongside the thigh and come down onto their forearms on top of the blocks. Whatever works for you. On the next inhale, let's lift up away from that leg. Arms lifting towards the sky or not, and then exhaling, bringing the arms down. From this wide angle, let's move into butterfly pose. So we'll slowly bend each knee, bring the sole of the feet towards one another. Maybe they touch and they press against each other. Now lengthen through the spine, lift your chest, sit up on your sit bones, and hold on to your legs if that's comfortable. Coming into bound angle. Release your knees and thighs. Maybe use blocks to support the legs and letting go with that support. So like if you have the lower part of the leg supported, the upper part of your legs can begin to relax, hopefully. Sitting up nice and tall, chin level with the floor. You can stay here practicing your Ujjayi breath, or you can take the first two fingers of one hand, wrap them around the big toe, press into the opposite side of the body, lift the foot with the hand that's attached, and straighten the leg out to the side, pressing through the heel, and then releasing after extending. You can hold it for longer if that suits you, coming into your Ujjayi breath or not. Switching to the other side as you're ready. Just giving the hamstrings another lengthening opportunity. Good. And what we'll do next is begin to position ourselves on the floor. Laying down on the back. Looking up at the ceiling or the sky. Let's bend through each knee, bringing our feet to the floor. And let's bring just the right knee into the chest, leaving the left leg bent, left foot pressing into the floor. Draw that right knee in, wind relieving pose, and press through the heel, and then point the toes. Maybe move the foot in a circle. Maybe just wiggle the toes. Neck is extended, the back of the head is long, flat on the mat, if that makes sense. Let's inhale, lifting the right foot towards the ceiling. Stretch that heel away from you. Exhale, release the foot slowly. Pressing maybe more into that left knee, or excuse me, left leg, left foot, left hip. And once your heel touches the floor, draw that foot back up so the right foot comes next to the left, and we'll switch to wind relieving pose on the left side. Draw that knee in, wrap your arms around the top or the back, press through the heel of the left foot, and then point. Do that a few times. Then maybe make some circles each way. Wiggle the toes. Then release the hands and arms. Stretch that foot up towards the ceiling. Press through the heel. Hips pressing into the floor. Right foot pressing into the floor. Go ahead and lower that left foot and leg. Maybe you've already bent your right leg because it's more comfortable to lower the opposite side if your leg is more linear on the floor. And then we'll bring both knees into the chest, wrap the arms around them there. Holding on in some way or reaching toward. You can rock from left to right if that feels good. And we'll move into student choice. I like to give people time to feel into their own bodies and decide what it is that their body still needs to do. Maybe it's taking another full body stretch. Maybe it's coming into the bridge pose. So we haven't put the blanket under our head yet. Maybe it's piriformis stretch. Maybe it's happy baby. Maybe you feel like coming into Shavasana early today. Take a few more breaths in whatever pose or poses you've chosen. And then go ahead and set yourself up for your final Shavasana. Maybe you're cold and you place a blanket on top of you. Maybe one behind your head is enough. Maybe you keep your knees bent towards the sky and you figure out a way to lean the legs together or to relax as much as possible through the knees, upper and lower legs, feet, hips. Or maybe you're straightened long on the mat and you're in corpse pose with arms down by your side or arms up overhead or anywhere in between. The idea here is to fully relax the body. And relaxing the body will only happen if it's 100% comfortable. And this can take some time. So go ahead, pulling your energy inside in this stillness. Begin to pay attention to your breath. Keeping the breath flowing, begin to lengthen the breath as much as you can. And let's do the extended exhale breath. We'll do a pranayama to end our class today. And the extended exhale breath is really one of the easiest breaths to reduce anxiety, stress, just to calm us down if we've been triggered by something that's excited our nervous system. So as you breathe in next, just sort of pay attention to how long that breath is. Maybe you're counting, maybe you're not. And as you reverse the breath and exhale, Lengthen the exhale more than the inhale. Maybe one counts, maybe two, maybe more. That's going to depend on your comfort level and how deeply you allow your body to relax. And what you're doing next probably is what's going to help you make that choice of how deep you can afford to go right now. Knowing that you can always pick up a final relaxing shavasana on your own, maybe taking a nap after work at 4, 15, 20, 30 minutes max. Maybe your yoga is all you need to feel restored. Keep those exhales clocking in at a longer pace than the inhales. And we'll continue for just a few more moments. As you're ready to begin movement once more, start by just rocking your head from left to right. This is really my favorite way of waking up, excuse me, which is why I save the best for last. Rocking back and forth. And then making our way all the way over onto one side, pressing up away from the mat, moving as slowly as we'd like to come up into a comfortable seated position, hips slightly elevated, legs in a comfortable shape, any one you choose. Relaxing our arms out by our sides, we'll inhale, lifting the arms and hands up overhead, bringing them together. Exhale, hands to the heart, closing down the eyes, dipping the chin towards the chest as we bow to the divine that is within us, each of us. The light in me honors the light in you. Let the next inhale lift your chin. Let it flutter open your eyes. Release your hands. Thank you all so much for joining me for a Vinyasa flow practice. I hope you have a great rest of your day, if there's any left when you're watching this, and have a great week. See you next time. Take care.